There we go. Oh, I've got two people watching. I didn't think anyone was here yet. Hello. I hope you're having a great Sunday. This is a later time for me. It was just a lot going on today, and I just figured I would put it at a later time. I hope that who's ever joining, that you enjoy yourself. Maybe you'll ask a question or anything you want to ask. You can ask pop culture, you can ask political, you can ask true crime, you can ask a personal question if you want. Just put it in. Let me see here, my pillow behind my back a little bit better. Oh my gosh, this is really springy. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to put just to write your question in all caps. Okay. Hey, Isadora. How are you doing? Have you got any questions? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. Oh, I'm just going over. There we go. So, having to bounce between the different software. So, and two more have joined. So, if you're just joining, I want to thank you for joining at this later time. If you have a question that you would like to ask, feel free to write in all caps, just like I said. Aha, gotcha. Thank you so much for making a request, Isadora. Just like she did. You can see it perfect, because that's going to jump out at me rather than just, let's say, some chit chat going on amongst people or just a basic comment. That's how it's going to stand out. So, especially with as we get older, our eyesight and staring at a screen all day. All right, so I'm just going to shuffle this up, and I'm going to use my favorite. This is the albino or albino, as some people say, Rider-Waite. And that is the only difference, is that it has this back that's different. It's fairly radiant, though. It's very colorful. I always like a very colorful deck, although I have used black and white decks, and some of my favorite, Johnny uses one of them. I think it might be the Nero deck or something like that. And I wore that thing out. I really did. I kind of go through phases with different decks. Hi. Hi, Tyler. Hi, Ash. And how you doing? So if you want to formulate a question, feel free to go ahead and write it in all caps. And I will start. Hi, Teresa. Nice of you to join. I have this live going on a little later this evening. Allergies, there's a lot of them. Lots of grasses and trees right now. And I'm so pleased that you're hanging out. It's just a casual, comfortable, make sure you get a bevy and a snack and a question if you can think of one. Maybe there's been a question you've always wondered about. Why not put it to the cards? I see that, Ash. I've got your question as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll start and get the ball rolling with Isadora Smith. And I love this because this opens the door for us to hear what maybe we haven't considered. Sometimes it can reconfirm things when we ask, what do our spirit guides want to share with me? I think that's a very good question, rather than our wants. Sometimes our want needs to be, what do they want to bring to my attention? I'm just as guilty. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay. So I'm just going to dial in, as I say, to Isadora and your guides for a minute here. I see your question, Judy. And again, thank you to all who are joining. I'm reading on Isadora's question about the message of her spirit guides to her. Okay. See what we get. Okay, read in pairs. You are getting the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. This is a time of kind of a pause and a kind of a look at where you've been and where you're going. And this is a time to open up your heart with the Ace of Cups according to them. So this Seven of Pentacles is talking about working on goals, working on things that you want to achieve, things that are important. And it's really sometimes about a pause to see if there's something that you need to change or tweak or what have you. And this is showing as opening up to joy, opening up your heart to feel. And that for a lot of people is difficult because of vulnerabilities, so on and so forth. But we're getting the message of opening up and kind of pausing from work and day-to-day mundane concerns and goals and money and that kind of thing. And there's a need to feed the heart. No problem, Teresa. Sometimes what can help is just listening along, and sometimes it can occur to us later if we get a question. So that's perfectly fine. Let's see what else we're getting. Well, I'm getting, I think this is probably you, feeling, I think, a bit drained. Like there's a lot of responsibility. And sometimes it's not just your responsibility for self, but sometimes other people have a tendency to put responsibilities onto our shoulders, or we pick them up. And it's a time to put some things down here. Again, I'm getting a message of looking over your life, looking over things that you can let go of that might be imprints from your parents and family type of thing. Yes, you've been feeling that way. Thank you. That is very helpful because I kind of just go out on a limb with what's coming intuitive, and what makes sense to me. And what they're saying is you have too much on your shoulders. It's not, you can see the figure here. It's not just part of your imagination. And this means that you've got to put down some of the baggage and let go of things that no longer serve you. And that includes, behaviors of maybe taking on too much or trying to save everyone's hide, or whatever it is. And this is about finding joy, finding something that's fun, opening up, and in a positive way where you're not like tasked. Okay. again, this kind of links back to family. I'm getting that 10 of Pentacles and work, money, um, maybe an attitude towards that comes from family, about career and how you live, so on and so forth. I see with the Knight of Cups some offer coming in or making an offer, and it could be connected to family or more money, a financial issue, can be an inheritance as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure, but there's holding on, and maybe there's a need to let go a little bit more. Once again, we're we're getting figures of where the person is kind of tight, and a need to kind of loosen up and let go of some of this really heavy energy. You need to make sure that you have more fun. Good question, Teresa. I'm marking that. So, don't get too serious about life and about the money. And I mean, it's so easy to say that, but really keep it in perspective, and that you can't always be practical. You have to have some health where you feel safe enough to open up your heart, to open up your feelings, to be lighter hearted, laughter, comedy, loosening up. That's part of the message, if that makes sense. Have you been lacking fun? It looks like all work and kind of like the focus on the mundane and on finances and surviving. And it looks like you need to do some lighter hearted things, even just if it's simply watching comedies on Netflix or on YouTube or whatever. You need to shift the gears. You can't all work and no play make you, does not make your pencil sharp. Okay. And again, thank you guys for joining in. I'm just going to be taking my time tonight. See, if I go over an hour, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to roll with it. Okay, let's go to the next question. All right. Next one is Ashes, then Judy, and then Teresa. Okay, so far. All right. Next question. What do you see coming up for me soon? Okay, what is on the horizon for Ash? For Ash Foster Music. What is on the horizon that Ash needs to be aware of? Okay, let's see what we get. Well, this looks quite nice. I'm getting kind of a party celebration atmosphere, and what would be in a pretty comfortable kind of environment, maybe even a very swishy kind of a place. It's also an elevation of, I think, social circle, friends, and they might come from a more well-to-do background, or they might be more connected in some way, because I'm getting that, not for nothing, with the 9 of Pentacles. And it just kind of feels like these people are friends. It looks and feels very social to me, and in a very comfortable, kind of hoity-toity, maybe even setting is on the horizon. And it looks like, there could be a loan. You can ask these people maybe for help. There is having to really watch your coins. And they may not have to watch that so much. So if you are socializing, it could come to be a thing where they can throw the money much more carelessly where you have to be more careful, and you might have to, and it looks like someone may be willing to help you, or they might invite you to go to something, and you might say, I can't afford to do that, but somebody would maybe step up and say, oh, it's on me, or something like that. It's kind of got that vibe to it. You'll have to keep me in the loop. Now, we do get an end to kind of this where there's been, I think, it could either be that there's an end and then you've got to kind of go back to work and keep focused and be very serious about what you're doing, and determined. So it looks like there's some fun, and but it looks like there's a change or there's an end, and it looks like a shift where you're much more like nose to the grindstone and working very thoroughly. We do get something about the father, and memories of the father. It could be nostalgia, the past. Somehow that's relevant. Just keep that in mind, kind of tuck that away. And it deals with some conflictual issues that are hidden yet to your awareness, that maybe intuitively you're starting to connect the dots. There is something with, I think, how you deal with conflict or competition even. So just keep that in mind. And maybe it's like taking up after your father, not realizing it, or this could be a positive or, a negative or an, neutral. But I see that things should be pretty good, feeling pretty positive and learning new things, maybe a new job and new skills. So that's what you have, according to the cards, in all likelihood. I hope you don't mind me saying. Okay, Jacqueline, I see your question. Hello, Hugger Greeter TK. Nice of you to join us. Thank you, Jacqueline. Ash, for. Oh, Isadora. I can fix that. I'll do that later. About your wrench. I wonder if I can do it from here. Let's see. I might have to go on the other one. No, I have to go on the other one. Okay, hang on a minute. There we go. There we go. All right. Aha. Okay. Next question is for Judy. Judy. All right. Okay. There. Yeah, Isadora, just anything that opens up your heart, opens up your feelings, positive, even like sometimes for me, that's like watching cute little animal videos, that kind of thing. No problem, Isadora. Okay, if Vance says all women, oh boy, Vance, that guy. If Vance says all women should stay in abusive marriages, so does that mean Mrs. Vance is in an abusive marriage with J.D. Vance? Probably. He's such a winner. Let's take a look. Oh, that guy. He comes out with some really off the wall. I can't. My husband comes in and tells me from time to time just some of the crazy nonsense that falls out of his mouth, and I'm just like, I wish this was a comedy show and not real life. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Vances. What kind of marriage do they have? Is it abusive? Is J.D. Vance, and all this is alleged for entertainment purposes only, in a very abusive relationship? Is that an abusive marriage? Let's take a look. Oh, Mandy the Mystic Tarot. Good to see you. All the way from England. Okay, let's see. The Vance marriage. What do the cards want to share? I want to get them good and shuffle. Okay. Oh my, wow. Oh, look at that. Well, this is up tipsy turvy. This is that's the first word that popped into my mind. With the Tower, it's got something that is gonna really test that marriage. You know, they've been living on air, you know, fairy tales of air. I know that sounds crazy, but not. I mean, the guy is not, well, very, very different dude. And we get this card when we need to change and live more true to purpose, live more truthfully, live more real, so to speak. And so that marriage is going to really be tested hard. And I don't think he's expecting it, or her. But I'm going to say that marriage is stormy at times. I don't care what people want to say. Look at the waves. See the ships? And I think, I don't know why yeah, Mandy. Thank you for joining. It's so fun with you. I wanted to say, does he have a gambling? And I could be way off. He may not even, but it just popped in. And so I tend to hold back. But I want to say, I'm curious if he has issue with money. Maybe he's just, it comes in and it goes out. Or somebody maybe has an issue with money. It's like it's up and down. I also feel like somebody's moods can be up and down, and in really marked differences. Very moody person. I can't imagine who that could be. But imagine if it's both of them. I have no idea what she's like. I'm so curious now. This could also spell problems ahead, unless they are able to rebuild, because the Tower is kind of a destruction of the outdated, outmoded things that don't serve us in our lives. And it can be really kick in the teeth. He's financially backed by Peter Thiel. Gets the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Wands. I think he is the one that says what goes. And I think he is capable of, with that Eight of Wands, of physically being active. Let's just put it that way, to enforce very set ideas. I just feel like with him, he's just got that real extreme, also kind of sorry about the background noise, real extreme kind of with this card, perspective, very opinionated and pushy with it. So I'm not feeling that this is like an equal partnership. No. Surprise. he might end up later alone, on his own, and looking to see for opportunities. But he feels like he's alone here doing this. I think he just does what he wants, but it might end up at the end of the day him being on his own. It could also be that, with the hermit, it tends to mean that people are pulling back, but they're like soul searching. They're supposed to be more deeply searching, kind of off the beaten path. But it is something that we have to do kind of alone. So this might be something that he looks back on later in his life. There's something significant with that energy here is what I'm getting. Hi, Shifting Veils. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate everyone coming in. I might start doing some of my lives more in the evening. It's just time-wise a bit of a crunch on a Sunday. We'll see. So that's what I get for their marriage. Let me just ask another question. Let's ask how Mrs. Vance, because I haven't bothered to even find out what her name is. Let's see how she feels toward her husband. What are her feelings about their relationship and him? Maybe she's good with it. I'm a traditional wife. Some of these people can surprise you. They're in it for all different reasons. Hey, Ksenia, I think. Pretty name. I'm going to tag your question. All right. So let's see what Mrs. Vance is like real quick. And then we'll be on to the next question. It is juicy, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay. What is Mrs. Vance's opinion about her husband? How does she really feel about him and their relationship? I'm just being a total nosy Parker. Childlike, kind of. We have the page that she thinks of the child. It must have a child. And there's a lot of, it looks like challenges that have to be overcome. I don't know if there's a child of theirs that requires more attention, more care, maybe has some learning disabilities, to be fair. I'm not sure. But it feels like it's her. She's looking at a child. So maybe it's him. Maybe she looks at him as a child. Do they have two boys? Somehow I get, her focus is on a child and not so much maybe her relationship with him. Maybe that's kind of a second place for her. But maybe where her children are concerned, she's more concerned with the challenges that they face. I think there's some love there for sure. And I think there's attraction with the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So there must be some alignment. Shifting Veils read that this guy didn't used to be this way, that Vance didn't used to be this way back in the day when he went to school, and that Thiel's got his hooks into him. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. There's going to be, I think also this Ace of Cups is emotional energy coming out. And I think some of the things that he can say can definitely, I think maybe she does notice that people's reaction is like, what? It provokes a response. There's an emotional flow, overflow. I wonder if he's also, okay, I'm getting like dysregulation. I feel like with that also maybe some ADD. I wonder if he or the kids with that Knight of Wands, it's just the energy. I think the woman's very busy with her children and maybe kind of his cheerleader on the side, but I think he's also very high maintenance, high energy, emotional outburst. I don't feel like he has a good, like I was saying, like grown up censor, and that makes sense because of the crazy stuff he says. I think his boys might still kind of pick that up as we do in families. You don't know these people. It's the JD Vance, and that's Trump's VP. And I'm just throwing cards and seeing what their relationship is like. I see your question, Sasha, and I am marking that. He's fiery, love. Yes, he is. And that makes sense. I think he's a very excitable type. I think she finds him exciting. Um, oh yeah, and manly. Yeah, the sun. She thinks the sun shines on him literally. Um, and he thinks that too. So that's enough about those two, man. They're they're connected. All right, more questions. All right, Teresa. I like these mix of questions, mix of personal, pop culture, and political and stuff. It's so interesting, as well as true crime. It looks like we have something. Oh, okay. Just looking at the questions coming up. All right. Where are we at? We're at half an hour. We're good. We're good. All right. Let me give these a good shuffle in between people. And I just kind of think, clear the deck. Whenever I'm shuffling and I'm reading from person to person, or onto another subject, I always think, just as I'm shuffling, clear the deck in between topics, people, energy, to kind of reset it. One of the things I want to try to do is to include how I read. Everyone's different, but I think that everyone can benefit from learning how to read the cards. I really do think, even if you just start with a card a day, that's how I started when I was 18, and I taught myself. And I'm going to be 57 soon. Hang on a minute, my card deck kind of got twisted around. I just want to make sure. And thank you for showing up this Sunday night. I hope you guys are well, and big prayer out, seriously, to all and all your concerns and family and loved ones. A lot going on in this world today that's very stressful. And so that's kind of a group prayer. It's something I like to do. I have my incense burning, but looks like it went out. I might have to relight that. It's the Nag Champa. I love that. It really resets me. It's weird how scents will do that, huh? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. But maybe it was meant to be. Okay. Who are my spirit guides is for Teresa. And how many do I have? Okay, let's break that down. Let's see if we get a number on the card or in my intuition. Let me just kind of, my nose and these allergies, excuse me, please. It's just enough to be annoying, just enough to like moisten up and you go, gotta get a sip of the, yes, coffee. All right. Teresa. Let's little spa, spiritual spa for that's what this is. This is a spiritual spa tarot reading for everyone who's asking questions. I wish I could just, do that for much longer, but it does make you pretty tired afterward. Okay, Teresa. Look at your last name. Hadrian. Hadarian. Hadarian. In the meantime, why don't you, if you would, put where you are viewing from, what part of the world. That's always fun. I always think that's interesting. You can feel free to mention it in the chat log. And I'm near San Francisco along the coast. It's foggy and it's chilly. Okay. How many spiritual mentors, teachers, guides does Teresa have? 2. Look at that, the 2 of Cups. I think that's an excellent card for a guide. Very, very close. Let's see. I usually read in pairs, so we'll get the next card that goes with it. Yeah, look at that. And this is a card of the Page of Swords is often a card of news or watchfulness, and communication. Usually mental telepathy. That's how spirit communicates. For the most part, although sometimes I've actually heard an audible voice. I know the difference. So you got 2, and they want you to know they're watching you. They try and bring you information. They're aware. There's also, you can start to facilitate getting to know them, getting to sense them, tuning in, because they're always with us. It's just that we've got so much going on in this world that we can't, it's hard for us. It's much harder and denser, our reality. So you have 2 primarily, and very watchful. They've been with you, of course, since before you came to this world. Look at that. This life is pretty difficult for you. You've taken a lot, you're dealing with a lot, but also you kind of get a similar message of you are really doing great work, though, according to them. Because the card of the 8 of Pentacles is where you are accelerating your skill. You're honing a skill. It's not just but like spiritually, the hardship, I think, has brought a great deal of know-how and awareness from your life. So the things that you've gone through, the hardships and the stuff, just know it wasn't for nothing. And that on the other side, you're advancing. This was the point of this life. Just a few more. I think it's important. And that they're pleased with you, and to ask for help. They're there for you with the 6 of Pentacles, and they're pleased with you. And just to keep, up with learning, but you can let go of things that are not yours to worry about. You need to let some people worry about their own stuff. With that 10 of Wands, you need to lighten your load, So keep that in mind. I hope that is helpful to you, Teresa. Now, who they are, I'll throw cards real quick and see if we can kind of get some idea of their energy. So what is the energy? What are Teresa's guides' personality, energy signature? Their energy signature, what is it like? Is there a notable... There's always a notable, I'm getting. I've got one that I think... very energetic, one that pushes you. There's one that's more of a... is really pushing you in this life, I get, because you're doing important work, and it may not seem like it, but there's stuff that your awareness is achieving, your greater awareness, that they're super proud of. Again, they kind of go back to that. They're not... they're just more like a really this knight of wands, this energy of light and enthusiasm and passion. They don't tire, and it's youthful. It's not... they represent themselves as kind of probably up to the age of about 30. And I'm just getting them as light figures with this. And they're helping you especially to consider changes that you need to make in your life. Just realize that they're there and they're real. I get a female that deals a figure here that comes around particularly when you're sad or ill, and a male. These two energies may have been a couple. Could be parents, could be even grandparents, you know. It feels like maybe a couple. A man and a woman, though. Interesting. Because it's not always... we have angels and we have human guides, or people that were human, you know? How to put that? The spirit that was human, was in a human body. Okay, I hope that is helpful. Let me just bounce back and look at here. Okay. You don't know how to become aware of their presence. Well, just by the simple fact that they are here, okay? It's just the same as when you're sending a text to somebody, you know? You can't see them, but you know that they're getting... well, you hope that they're getting the message, but they do. But they, more than any text message, they will always get and know where you're at, but you have to ask them for help. They have to be, you know, they can't always step in unless you ask. So let them know that you want their help and that you want their help to try and so that you can refine your senses to be able to connect to them and feel more connected. And be very patient with yourself in this, because it takes a while. One of the things that I do before falling asleep at night is I talk to my guides, and I try to do the thing of learning how to be a good listener. And that's kind of the process of stilling my mind and allowing, you know, any impression to come through, because I know that they communicate with me. I've heard my guides once, a male guide that had an English accent, probably was a former family, you know, a family member. But I don't hear it all the time. And most of the time you're not. It's going to be kind of a nudge that you feel. That feeling that we call that gut feeling. That is often them trying to get through the density of our existence here to get our attention. So it's just learning how to listen to that quiet, intuitive direction, if you will. And start simple. Start simple. Hey, Comfort at the Crossroads. Oh, the Burning Sun guy. Okay, I see it. Got it. Going to put that in. And I will put your question here and start again. What specifically do the guides do to help you out? Well, it looks to me like it's dealing with a lot of communication and emotion, and just guiding you on, I think, confronting things that you need to confront, and urging, giving you that urge to do so, kind of pushing, encouraging you. Sometimes it's like you might desire to learn about something out of the blue. Sometimes it's like that. And it's often the influence of our guides. And we find out later, oh my God, I learned so much. I feel like I was led to it. It's this kind of thing. And it's just getting out of our own way to allow ourselves to feel and acknowledge those impulses rather than push them away, which is what you'll probably find that you're doing, as most of us do. Because we go, okay. All right. Back to the next. And I'm going to put no more questions up, because I've got enough now to, at this point, to go over the hour. So no more questions. Thank you. And there we go. All righty. Now, on to Jacqueline. And then we'll have, I think it's Kensenia. I'm so sorry, babe. You probably got a beautiful name, and I'm tearing it up. All right. And we have Nell and Sasha. All right. So let's go. All right. I hope that answered your question, Sasha. Yours is coming. It's coming. Be patient. Okay. I am getting a bit crunchy here. Oh. I did. I finished that. Ash, so it looks like there's some social stuff coming up. Just hit the replay, after the live, once it's YouTube has put it back up. It's quite a bit to go back into, so it's there. Okay. All right. What do you see for me in my current relationship? Okay. All right, Jacqueline. Let's see. Shifting gears. Let me get a sip of my warm beverage. It's so interesting to read for you all. It really is. Such different slices of energy, and it really helps as a reader to read for people, even though I have no idea the context and I have to kind of risk being a fool going, it looks like this. It's okay. It's okay, Ash. My voice can sometimes put people to sleep. Okay. Hopefully not my personality. All right. Jacqueline, your current relationship. All right. Well, this looks like something that may have been going. Have you been with this person for a while? That Knight of Pentacles energy is pretty slow, pretty thorough. It might also be where things can be pretty routine, but there's clarity. And so it gives me a feeling like you know where you stand. This person's very predictable, or things are very predictable, I would say. Does that make any sense? Tell me if I'm tracking. Jacqueline, will you? All right. I do get some sort of a hold or a delay and a tendency to hold back. So this kind of not feeling like you can maybe open up entirely, or there can be that situation goes on when someone's maybe trying to insist upon having all the control. Thanks, Mandy. There's an awareness, though, with this. And it could be that this has been a sticking point, an issue of stubbornness, control. It can also be tight finances, but also this looks and feels a bit like somebody that doesn't, especially with that Knight of Pentacles, somebody that's doesn't like surprises, you know? They're very predictable. They like control. They're not real outgoing. The energy is kind of closed with that Four of Pentacles. And it gives you insight, however, with the Hanged Man. It can give you greater insight into this person that you wouldn't normally have. So if you're a bit bored, holding back, okay, that makes sense. I would say be patient, because there's something to be learned that's significant with this, to look it over, to mull it over with that Hanged Man, because you see he's hanging, but he's not uncomfortable. And the halo is enlightenment. And he's realizing something that comes from looking at something from a different perspective that he mightn't had done, you know? That something is occurring, okay? Clarity. And I don't know if there's a father that needs help, or if this is a husband, because the Emperor is typically a father, older, more established male. So I don't know if you're married or not, or if this is something maybe about maybe someone's father or his father, maybe, I don't know. Significant. We are together constantly, but not together. I see like there's an issue here that I'm being shown about maybe somebody needing help, or asking for help, or giving help to a father figure. Maybe needing help to learn how to be a father, you know, or that he offers help. I'm not clear how that works. Or that maybe he needs to ask for help to master being more of a quote unquote man. I don't know. I don't mean that to be mean. It's really about maturing. And if someone is just going to hold back, and it looks really tight with that energy. Yeah, it makes for the moon, which is uncertainty and fears and difficult uh, navigation with that person. And with the nine of wands, you can kind of end up feeling taken advantage of, or like you've been through the mill, like it's aged you, to be honest. So this darkness is something that I don't think that they're willing to explore or release. And it looks kind of like the situation is that uh, it makes the relationship difficult. Oh, he's a single dad and you've been helping him. So interesting. Okay, that makes sense. That the help and the father thing. Okay, got it. See, I don't know you, so I have no idea. I have to just hope that the meanings of what I know with the cards and intuitive makes some kind of sense. So thank you for confirming that. It just looks like it's kind of hard going, to be honest. And there could be some abuse issues maybe in the past as well that create, or trauma, that's held on to. Um, Maybe they hold back because of trauma. This would require, I think, a great deal of patience to go through. You know, it's up to you to look at things. I feel with a great deal of the practicality of the Queen of Pentacles, and say, what do I need for myself, for my own, well-being? I need someone that can be there for me and not just come and go. Um, I get that they have a child. As a parent myself, the child will always come first. But the thing is if they can't connect or open up, where when you hit a bump in the road with the relationship and they have to kind of, it doesn't look like they're ready to work on that. There's a holding on to that. So you have to consider these things and reflect. You might even want to write down. Sometimes that's very helpful to write down the pros and the cons and just kind of get clear, and then burn the paper. Here we get the star. There is hope here, okay, and the world, that, you know, this relationship may run its course, or it may end up uh, being something that can be worked out. I'm not sure. I think you would have the answer more than I would, because you would be the one looking over the past and the present and knowing what the future would be. But there's hope for your future and for freedom and greater happiness. And if you don't feel like you're going to have that with this person that's just closed off, you need that. It's not healthy to be that closed off. So I see some really feeling better, some sense of freedom here with the world. There's completion, finding somebody, finding something, other things in life that make you feel much more on track. Okay. I think there's just a lot of issues and pain with family, or extended family, even with that 10 of, it could be old traumas. So, think it over and do what's the best for you and your fulfillment of being a balanced, happy person. Yo-yoing is probably not, back and forth thing may not be the easiest emotionally to deal with. And it's not that it has to be easy, but the drama is draining, and you have to decide whether you want to continue, you know, to deal with these things, because this person looks very closed off. Okay, I'm going to go to the next question. All right, what is my future husband like as a person? I'm 28 and single now, but ready for marriage. 28's a good age. 28's a good age for marriage. Ah, crunch, 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 my neck. All right, let me get this sip of coffee. Okay. And clear this deck. All right, clear. Clear this deck. Pardon the wound vac. I think it is getting picked up. I threw my big heavy blanket over it, but it's like, it's powering through. Okay. Let's carry on. So what is her future husband like as a person? What does she need to know about future partner? All right, what does she need to know about her future partner? I really want to make sure between people that I give these a proper shuffle. A quick, proper shuffle. Okay, what is her future husband like as a person? What does she need to know? Okay, let's kind of get comfy and dial in. I get a King of Cups. Maybe he'll be a water sign, or he just could be a very empathetic, sensitive, maybe very intuitive male. Adult, obviously, with the king. And that's good because it should indicate that he's got some maturity to him. It's not like you're getting kind of a younger type of male, which can be a knight, let's say. So we have a mature adult male here. And I do get the Tower. He may be experiencing like something very sudden that was unexpected. It could be that you meet him in a very unexpected manner, but there's a disruptive element to it. It could be that at the time in his life going through again big changes. Again, living more where one is being pushed to live more authentically and intuitively. This card could even be something like a spiritual awakening. But let's just see. I'll know more. You've always dreamt about a King of Cups. Whoa, that's wild. And Jacqueline, yeah, I just don't think he's ready to deal with that trauma. It looks like, and God bless him, just, but it looks like you need to grow. And that's what the world says. That's why, sorry, and I'll get right back to that King of Cups, but I just got to say something. I just don't think he's ready to carry on with the rest of the journey, and the world is the last card in the journey. So you have yet to, grow and you're ready to do that. He just doesn't look like he's ready. Okay. All right. So back to the husband. So we get the Tower. And this is interesting. We get a King of Pentacles and a man that's very stressed, or maybe makes this male feel very stressed, or there's a lot of stress upon or around significant to a King of Pentacles. Could be somebody that's a boss, a business person, more material minded. I don't know if there's been like something at work and that's been a significant event. Someone could get, it could even be like an accident, God forbid, but it feels like there's a lot of stress and a lot of pushing, and maybe pushing limits too far, and things give way with this Tower. And I see two men, this King of Cups and this King of Pentacles, and he sure feels like the business aspect of the King of Pentacles when I just intuitively look at him. And feeling trapped at home, or trapped where he's living, residing. So when you meet him, there could be he could be going through kind of a tough time. It looks like he knows there's looking to like maybe live on his own, or live in a different place, or perhaps even feels like they cannot buy their own home or something like this. There could be some issues going around with residents and feeling trapped or stuck, but there's still a means around the issue. It's just that it might be tedious but necessary. Okay. We'll just put this on the shelf, and you can come back and tell me if any of this makes, sense, because it's probably making about as much sense to you as it is to me. And this will be one of those things that it has to kind of come and go for you to know whether or not there was anything significant. And I get maybe a traveler with the World and the Chariot. And maybe that's the issue with the home, and having to find home. So I'm feeling that this male, I can look and see if you know him already. I'm not sure. I was going to say I don't think so, but I really don't know. Travel, and it could be that he's looking to buy a place or a home, and it looks like I just feel like he's wanting to change, and things in his life are breaking down so that he can make necessary changes, but it's so unpleasant. And there's something, I don't know if he's going to be from somewhere else, or if he's going to be traveling around looking at where he'd want to live or buy a place. It's something I don't to do with home, buying a home, having one's own home. It feels like this person, again, there's a change that they're going to experience in their personality, and it feels like where they held back, now they are, especially with the Tower hitting them, being forced to let go of things that they held on to way too long. So he will be undergoing a significant shift, and it might be pretty hectic, but it's really important. And when I look at the bottom of the deck, I get the Lovers. So I do think I'm picking up on, and you will be, I think, helping him. There might be also another male figure that's helping him out at the time, maybe a male friend. Maybe you'll meet them out some night. Maybe, he'll be out with a friend, a male friend. And I do see like a delay. And it could be like having to kind of get better on one's feet or feel better. It could be even like if you're feeling under the weather, or you just don't have peace of mind, waiting till you do. And then I think you might hear from him. So he may, when you meet him, there could be some delay, but I feel like there will be peace of mind. And I do think, yeah, I'm getting like a group outing. So a group with a small group of people. That will be interesting. So keep that in mind. If you come across a group of people socializing and you're introduced to a man whose life is falling apart and he's a king of cups, I think you're going to know him. What is the purpose of this union and what can we give each other? Okay. And thank you so much for those of you that asked a question and being patient that are still waiting. I like to give you, quality. So be patient. I will try to give you the same quality of a reading that I'm giving attention to each person that asks a question. At least I try to. All right. And thank you all so much that have asked a question and shown up tonight. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So what is the purpose of this union? Because, you do have the lovers, and it is presided over or guided over by an angel. So there is some sense of this was I would say, intuitively to me, a significant relationship that you agreed upon before you came to Earth. You're part of your birth plan, your life plan. So, but let's obviously, that's kind of a no-brainer for those of us that believe that way. Let's see. So what is the purpose? What are they to teach each other? Patience. Patience when moving toward your goals, and mindfulness. So that you don't get stuck and that you don't rush into things either. Neither to, so that you're on track. And look at that. There is romance. There is emotional support with the Knight of Cups. I feel like he's a very tender lover. Kind. Humor. Probably enjoys music. May even have musical ability. Artistic or creative appreciation. And like I said, should have a pretty good intuition, but deep running emotion, deeply sensitive. So there's a patience and there's trust. And again, look at that. He comes up again. But again, with the small, this is going to be maybe also influential with work or creative pursuits, giving his ideas or his input. You both will enrich each other's lives and the things that you each are pursuing, um, aside of your relationship, work wise, and the people that you meet, you make each other better, um, and enriched. So that's very nice. It's very tender, very sweet. Look at that peace of mind after that sorrow. I think there's healing, long-term healing and peace of mind from depression, grief, losses. Whenever we feel bad and we go through a tough spell, sometimes we just have to grieve it, and it's really good to have somebody that's there that to help you get through it. Like this, that's what I feel. So it's beautiful. Best I can, and please let me know how that. It might be years, uh, but maybe not. You're at a good age. Okay. Sasha, 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 and then Nell, which is Comfort Crossroads. All right. Let me do a good old shift of these cards, a good old shuffle, shift of my butt. All right. What's Kiana Glover? I think that's how I'd say the name anyway. Kiana Glover and his family's feelings towards you after a car accident that you had today. And will you get car transportation soon? I'm so sorry. I hope that you do, and I hope that anybody that I hope all will be well. The most beneficent blessings, and I think it will be. I don't know why I'm saying that to you, because I don't like to feed people crap or sugar. Better, more appealing to say that, but what I'm saying is I don't like to offer things that I don't really think, but I feel like this is going to somehow be okay. Having said that, let's just see what the cards want to talk about with regard to the car accident today. And again, give you my best wishes. And we will first look at that kind of first part of the question of the family's feelings of the I guess the Glover family, maybe Kiana's family, how they are feeling. I get the Fool and the Sun just when I split the deck. It could be that it could be a foolish mistake, or that they might think that you're very new to something and may not have realized. Definitely would have something to do with not realizing the danger. The Fool is about ready to walk off a cliff, but is looking, not at the drop. And there's this little dog that's nipping at his heels. And so they might just feel like you missed a moment of caution. Not necessarily because you're like a bad person or anything, but just out of being not looking, or not looking in the right place. That's what I'm getting from that. But let's go ahead. Well, there's a lot of emotion, and it could be thinking, about money, to be honest, with the Nine of Pentacles. And this would be like a good amount of money. So is this making, before I, oh yeah. but they're afraid that somebody's going to hold back and walk away and not be accountable, or uh, that they don't have this Nine of Pentacles amount of money. They're more. So I think that there's a financial concern in this picture, and it might be bringing out maybe some emotions out of people that aren't always the best. Because I'm saying this because that Four of Pentacles can be a bit of it can be that they realize that your finances are tight, and you may not be able to um, compensate in some way if you were at fault. I get the King of Pentacles, let's see, and the Chariot. That's interesting. The Chariot is typically in the tarot, it can represent an actual vehicle of movement, because it is a vehicle of movement. The Chariot, the wheeled vehicle. And we get a male. Now, perhaps this is Kiana. If I'm saying the name right. Kiwana, maybe. I'm not sure. But this is something about a vehicle, and also them being successful, because the Chariot is about having success. Also, movement, progress, forward. It's also what you will, that you're determined, and you see something through. And so the Chariot's also not only seen as a vehicle, but there's this attribution of success. So they're concerned for his success, him getting, I think, probably a vehicle. And they're concerned, I think, as well, that maybe they're not going to get compensation. Okay. Ooh, I got to look down at the live questions. Kiwana. Oh, it's okay. Thanks. My name Maya with Maija, the J is silent. So I figure the J is silent here, and I didn't want to do what people do to me. Yeah. Okay. You didn't have full coverage. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to get a car. All right. All right. He has a car, but it isn't fixed. Yeah. I think he's looking at some nice wheels. I don't feel like this is the car that was in the wreck. I feel like they are wanting him to get a nice car, is the feeling here, especially with the Nine of Pentacles to begin with, because that is a card that talks about luxury. And it's a woman in fine dress that's in a garden, and she has a nice lifestyle and nice things of luxury. She's worked usually hard before with the Eight of Pentacles, and has achieved a very masterful skill. That's how the tarot works anyway. So they're looking at wanting, I think, and you can appreciate it, compensation, but especially him to have something nice. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And they are concerned that you may walk away in negligence, or run away in terror, because a lot of people don't try to keep themselves to account, or sometimes they panic. And panicking isn't going to do any good. And you just gotta, trust. Now I'm not done yet. So now it says to be patient. Okay. And I feel like financially there's looking at what can be done. So that could be that your insurer, or it may give you some clues as to what you need to do, a method and a means of how to take care of this. It could be that the insurance, well, they will cover up to a certain degree, but I am shown with the strength card that you can get through this. You have the strength and you will, and it's not going to be pleasant, but you figure out a way to build, I think, perhaps that money up. I feel like they have bad feeling towards me, and after what was said about the accident, and they don't really like me. No one's looking at, I don't have a way to get to work. Yeah, they're not looking at that. The only slight bit of that where that might come into play was where I had the running away card, because on foot, because you don't have a vehicle. Don't worry, I'm going to read about you getting a vehicle, and I'm going to read about how you might be able to come to agreement with this, what you can do. Now, I can't tell you exactly what you're going to do, but just that whether or not it looks like you'll get something figured out, so to speak. Just know, it's so easy to say, that worrying yourself ill is not going to make it happen any faster. So the best thing is to stay calm as best you can and just get very prayerful. I'm serious, because that can help to keep you calm and reach out to God. I'm serious. This is what I do, because they're looking at you, looking at how I no longer benefit him about me or how I feel. I think they have some concerns for you from what I can see, but they're concerned that the first thing that is coming up in the cards doesn't mean that these other things aren't. I think you're second, or third, to be honest. I think that their first thing that came up was really about the financial end and some sort of lifestyle or nice things or comfort, something, a luxury, and them feeling like you're not able to provide that, and they're concerned for him that he be able to get around in a vehicle, and a pretty nice one. So, but let's just see how this looks like, how this gets settled. You've been helping him financially for months. That makes sense. That's why all that money is on the mind of these people. It's the first thing that comes up. I think you might be being manipulated a bit here. And maybe this will end that for sure. Because girl, you're better. You don't deserve this. Man that does that's no man. No job. Knew it. It's not nice to say, but I just saw him as a tick. And I really don't like ticks. They're one of the most, I used to have to get them off the dog. Oh. All right. Anyway, I'm serious. He's no good. You're no good. You're no good. Baby, you're no good. So let me just see all right, hold up. Let's just see what Spirit wants to say to you. That's your spiritual guides, your angels, your guides, your whole team, your ancestors, God, everybody. all of us together, all of our consciousness. What do we need to bring you awareness about this situation? What do they want shared with you? Your spiritual team. Because this is, I can understand how you are concerned, and I want to give you a decent reading here. You're going to be okay. You know, this is about somebody that is not going to be happy no matter what. They will get something. It just may not be what they want. This is a bully. This is victory, and people paying attention, being, saying like, good job, more or less. So sometimes this is about somebody that needs this kind of attention. Sometimes it's about making through the challenges of an ordeal. And I think it's more that you'll make it through this, but you're facing a bully here. And this is somebody that does not like to lose, quote unquote. I see a lot of anxiety over the money. Here you can see like loss of sleep. And this Ace of Pentacles is would represent a smaller amount of money, but it would be one perhaps of payments. So that you add, onto. It's the start of. That's why the ace is the start, and it's about finances. And we can see that. So this is looking, I think, for the help that you need, reaching out. I feel like you will have luck with that. And to take what kind of actions, you need to take, being advised. Just be cautious with the Page of Swords. And it does look like, this is a broken heart. This does hurt, but it can be also like a purge in the sense of that you have to let something go. It could sometimes mean that there's just the relationship issues that are painful. So I tend to think that the medical part, like a check, because I won't get a check for the auto policy. Fleas are vampires. They bloody are, but ticks are even worse. He had stuff on his background and a hard time finding work. Well, that's why you have to have better sense. And you deserve a guy that has better sense. I see this getting, no matter what, things are going to be worked out. But I don't think they're going to probably get this luxuriant amount that they thinking they're going to get. Maybe they will, I don't know. But let me take a look at you and about you getting a vehicle and some money from insurance. Okay. So this is about you. We're shifting to you, Sasha. Okay. So will she get some money from medical? I don't know enough about the insurance these and it differs from state to state, and I have no idea, so I can't tell you from my own knowledge. Okay, let's see. You know, I get a sense of loss here, but I get like I almost want to say like a silver lining for some reason. God, look at that. There's greed here and there's corruption. Look at the devil in that family. Oh my God. It's the family and it's money. And it's you're going to see the side of this family that's pretty ugly. Uh, the greed. But on the other hand, it's like good riddance. You're getting rid of this heavy energy that's kept you miserable. And the chain is that you've been with this person, but you can walk away from this problem because that's what they're saying. Justice. There is something that is going to manifest yet that we can't, that we're not aware of, that you're not aware of right now. There's something hidden, okay, with the high priestess and justice. But somehow things get worked out. So I will just say it's going to get worked out, and there is something yet you're going to have to be patient, but you will get through this. I think you're going to feel pretty numb and disconnected, but going through the motions, so to speak. Mandy is, she's over in the UK. So I see you getting through this. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. But you will make it through. I feel like this guy is just too money oriented, and just the heaviness, like losing him is like losing really a lot of drama, a lot of weightful drama, because you turn a page with this. That's important. And more important than this event is that you're moving forward and you have things to look forward to. And you will get through this successfully. Though it's going to be difficult, you will. So I'll just leave it there. And maybe you will be given some kind of I'll see about the car now, because that is, my mom had this problem one time. Someone stole her car, and she had no way to get to work. They totaled the car when it was found, and that's what the thief got. But my mom then couldn't, get the amount of money that she'd need to be able to afford, the vehicle, because they're not going to give you what it's worth. All right, so let me just take a look at the car situation. Vehicle situation for Sasha, please. She's going to get the vehicle so she can get to work. Yes, I see a male, and I feel like there's a group of people. I don't know if it's like carpooling or something, or working something out with a couple other people. There might be a man that's significant, an adult male in that respect. But I feel like a vehicle, I think, will somehow get worked out. Yeah, someone's going to help you. Look, there's help with finances, probably. They're actually dropping coins into someone's hands. It's in a bad spot. And there will be there's clarity with this. So to me, this is a way of my cards telling me you will definitely receive help in order to get what you need. But you might need to ask. You might have to humble yourself and ask someone. And it looks like there's a male that a King of Pentacles might have a bit more saved away, or might be more money minded, good with their money, that you could ask. So they may not have a car, but what I think is that I'm seeing a group of people that are going to help you somehow, I feel like, get a vehicle. It looks like there's a male that may lend you money, or somehow assist you in your need, because it's a real need. So I'm being shown, and the message is this: the universe is going to provide for you, despite the, I hate saying that, especially when you've been like kicked in the, you're dealing with really hard stuff. But in this case, I'm really confident to say things are going to work out. Relax. I know it's easy to say, but relax. There looks like someone's going to end up helping you or receiving help. And just be open to reaching out and asking people if they know of someone that can help you, what you could do. Be very advocate for yourself. That means, step forward and ask for help. No shame in that, because there's people in the world that really, when they help another person, they are benefiting their soul and the rest of the world. When we help one another, that it's a privilege to do so. So ask. And yes, apply for work from home. Ask people to help. Ask what they would do, because there are people that, like, I don't know if you have like HR or anybody, and sometimes HR is not very helpful. I don't know what kind of job you have, but ask the person that you're working for what they would recommend. Don't be afraid to ask questions, ask for help, ask for advice, because it looks like you're going to, get that. And I got the justice, so it's fair and balanced. And I kind of feel like that was my clue, that maybe they're not going to be so thrilled with getting something from the insurance like they want, and from you. But it will be okay. And just be grateful, and just say to God, you know what, God, I'm scared to death about this, but I just got to turn it over to you, because it's beyond my knowledge of how I'm going to do this. And seriously, that's what I do. I've actually managed to do things, but only because of God. You have to allow spirit to have room to work. And sometimes that means, especially, letting go of expectations of how it's going to manifest. We have to let spirit do its thing and have the freedom to do its thing, because it knows way better than our expectations do. But I'm seeing it gets worked out. I still want to see if you end up getting a car. Let me just ask that question. You end up getting a car. I think that, like a lot of things with this kind of a mess, It might not be as quickly as you like, but again, you are being shown that you will be given help. So I believe that, being that that's one of the primary things that you're going to need, I believe that that will be taken care of somehow, that you will figure out, someone help you figure out a means to do so. Maybe somebody will lend you a vehicle, or, uh, you know, you just don't know. But the key is asking, and it will always be asking. A lot of times we taught not to ask. But when you're in a situation like that, your back is against a wall. I believe that, again, I see you receiving counsel, and that you would get news very quickly with this kind of counsel with regard to, I feel like, getting a vehicle. And I see very swift energy here. So this could actually be quick. I do see what I feel like is the bully energy coming in here, wanting to know about money. They're focused on money. And they're worried that the cash cow is going to walk away, the queen of abundance, the empress. And this empress needs to walk away. So I think if you drop this guy, you're going to be able to bounce back, because you have a natural card of abundance. But I feel that, you've given all your nurturing away. You need to nurture yourself and ask for help. Yeah, there will be some conflict about settling this, and some noise, shall we say. Don't worry about it. It says you are like the queen here. You are like the goddess, and to be guided, allow yourself to be guided by your higher self, your angels, allow the Holy Spirit, if you will, to guide you in better manners, that you don't just respond. So it's telling you Spirit wants to work with you through it. Just trust in Him. But they're going to navigate you through some waters. I see some kind of offer is going to come, maybe probably through the insurance companies and stuff. And there's celebration. There's a release of energy. There's feeling upbeat. So it looks like, it's quite a journey. And it, might not be as quick as you'd like. All right? So deep breath, exhale, and just start talking to God and say, give Him all your fears and trust Him. And just really allow Him to lead you to sources of help. Just be willing to come with, an open mind, and just be willing to ask. And come back to me and let me know how things are going, if you would. That'd be really cool. All right. Okay, Miss Nell, thank you so much for your patience. So, the last question. This is about perfect for, 1 hour and 49 minutes and counting of a live, but that's fine. I kind of expected it would go around that point. So we have the question of, for those that know of these Korean stars, and if you don't, that's about as much as I can tell you, but I like to read on all amount of things familiar and non-familiar to me, especially if it's not familiar to me, and see how I do. It's kind of a masochistic game of like, let's see, put the pressure on. All right, so now she's marrying the guy from the Burning Sun scandal. Oh, and you're viewing from Indiana. Thank you for answering from where you're viewing from. Oh, wow. She's marrying him now. Okay. I became aware of that through, I think, your question about that whole scenario. What a, bleh. I think she's, I just feel like a divorce is on the way. I would appreciate that. And if you appreciated, listening to or having your answers, your questions answered, or getting a little reading, please do leave a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. That's what I do ask of you for my channel, to promote my algorithm. I think that's how I'm going to say it from now on, because I can't just algorithm. No, it's got rhythm in it. Yeah, I think the night thing might be my thing. I was born at night, so I'm kind of a night owl. All right. Let's see. So, why? The question is why. You want to know why she is marrying this dude. Let's see what we get. Why is she marrying him? I'm sure she thinks that she's in love. Yeah, no idea why she broke up with Dawn. Yeah, I understand. I looked into the situation so I could have some context, and I thought, wow, I can see why people are like, why? Yeah, like this guy. I think, you know what, it's a case of probably wanting the bad boy, but you're going to get burned because they can never give you what you're looking for, and you can't change them. And sometimes we think that we attribute traits to them that they don't really have, because we're infatuated with some fantasy. We don't see them for that, what they're really not, being a good partner. I have a feeling like, okay, I could be totally wrong, but my vibe off of this guy that she's the burning sun guy, that he's really arrogant, and I think really shallow and self-absorbed. And I think he's actually dull because of that. And I just think that this will eventually go flat. But that's my gut feeling. Let's just see what the cards say. Why? Why is she marrying this guy? Is she delusional? Because you know how love can make us delusional. Imagine things, imagine that people are better than they are. Oh, yeah. There's something about the past and childhood that we're being shown. Maybe a familiarity or a nostalgia. Maybe there's something about him that feels nostalgic. But the thing about nostalgia is you can't go back to that. That's it's, I don't know that that's a good thing. Yeah, there's news. This I'm being shown. I think there's a way of communicating that is familiar with him to her. And I don't know what it is. If it's a traditional family tradition, comfort, or a romanticized. Yeah, this can be the romanticized past. I think that there is a bit of that. I think she thinks of herself as this little girl right here, and him as the bigger, the man, the male, and that he's giving her flowers and attention. And I think that this is what she's wanted since childhood. But I don't know, especially this cautious, there's another part of her that's, I think, eyeing this knowing better, almost like a split part that, because we all have different voices and, things that say, um, especially when we shouldn't do something, it's not, or we know that it's not going to be fun. Yeah, okay, we get the moon and the page of cups. These things that seem so innocent as the page of cups, especially that are passed off as a joke or made light of, especially, are dark. There's darkness to them with the moon, and they're hidden. He keeps a lot hidden. There's a lot hidden about him that she just doesn't know. She might think that is intriguing, but I think she's going to find it problematic, to say the least. It's going to be, this is not good. This can be somebody that makes light of some very serious things, perhaps like the scandal that they were connected to and what they were doing, and the ethics and the morals of that. This person is still that way, by the way, is what it shows me. Immature, drawn by very dark things. I have a feeling this guy finds the kind of the dark side interesting. He's definitely got a dark side. We all do to some degree, but I think this guy kind of enjoys it and makes light of things he shouldn't make light of. Okay. But she sees him from a very childlike, innocent eyes, naive, and all, I think, connected to some sense of nostalgia. But look up what the word nostalgia means. It's kind of interesting. People used to, they thought, like, die from nostalgia. And it can be kind of like being homesick, but it could also be being homesick for a place that never existed. It can have that twist. And I'm getting, because of the dark cards that are around it, that twist of what should be innocent and light and sweet isn't so sweet on his part. He might act like he's her sweet boy, but he's got some dark stuff he's keeping hidden. He has a very much a dark side. And he's immature as well with that page of cups. Here we have someone walking away because something is just too much work. So I think at the end of the day, this doesn't bode well for the long term on that marriage. Someone, and it could be him even, is going to walk away because they're going to be too frustrated. They're going to maybe feel like also one of them may end up feeling like they are responsible for everything. This is going to probably end up being, I feel like, divorce or dissolved. This is up and down. They have real highs, and then they're going to have some real lows. And I think those lows may be enough to end or to make I feel like this sword feels like it ends this up and down, something final. There's ending this up and down. Yeah. So I think that they'll dissolve this marriage, and I think that she will move forward with her life and heal over time, because temperance is going to require a lot of different life experience and things in life that we do and how they mold and shape us to move us. And she does get the card of moving forward, though, with that Chariot. So that's really good. And maybe she will move back into her truer self, and by chance, maybe even more success with this, temperance. It looks really good. But I don't think this marriage is going to be any fun for her at the end of the day. And in fact, have they? I think they're going, but I think the marriage is going to be, it doesn't look good. Yeah, let's take a look at Dawn. I'm willing to do that. Because you are like an OG viewer. And plus, it's Sunday night. I'm chilling. One last thing. I am curious, too, about Dawn. Will Dawn find someone better? And that's just it. Sometimes we think, they should be. But you know what? No, maybe that's not the best thing. Because sometimes, just at different places and just not. I think that those two, agree, need to move on. So let's see. Nice. I think so. This would be a yes for me with Justice. And this brings balance, good decision making, and maybe more balanced decisions in relationships. So, and an end as well, so that there can be a new beginning. You see, even though that this is death and an end, it's so that the sun can rise. This new beginning can happen. So you have to let go of things. You have to let go of your past and allow it to be kind of the fertilized ground that your present is, and newness, moving forward and with balance. And with something to consider, the Justice card, the sword is upheld. This is because they don't take any nonsense, truth only. And the balance of the scales, fairness. So, and also it has to be nothing that is extreme. There's moderation. Isn't that interesting? So I feel like he'll make a real change from his past and a brighter future. There could be marriage for him here with the Hierophant, and it would put his life going into a calmer, smoother water, much more pleasant. So it does look like, I think there's a possibility of a marriage. Yeah. And there is recognition in his own right, success that way. And I got the Lovers, and I feel like that's him. So he will. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for making this 2-hour live very fun. I appreciate it. If you appreciated my reading for you or listening to it as well and learning some things about how to read the cards, how I read the cards, please do give me a thumbs up and recommend me to your friends or whatever, your family, if they're interested in tarot. All right. I will see you guys in the next live, which is always on a Sunday, unless I have something and I change it. But usually I make Sunday my day of my live. So I might do more night ones, maybe, kind of measure it out, depending on situations here, because these are fun too. All right, good night, everyone. Take care, and thanks for watching.